史上最高の選手が自分のチームにいるんだ。フレディ・フリーマンは迷わずそう言った。しかも今の大谷は完全にゾーンに入ってると。塁に出れば破壊、マウンドに立てば支配、 MLB 全体がただ呆然と見上げている。
Freddie Freeman yesterday talked about, after that Dodgers win, he's still swinging a really good bat, about winning because this Dodgers team has the best player, Shohei Ohtani, on the face of the earth.
That's why we've been winning a lot. When you have the greatest player of all time playing this game on your team, and he's hot like he is right now, it's fun to watch, fun to be a part of, and it's nice when he gets on. It seems like every single time he's creating havoc on the bases, extra base hits, and you get to watch him do everything tomorrow.
Two of them with 3 hits. One of those 2, the starting pitcher, Shohei Ohtani. It is remarkable when he can go out and do that at the plate and then dominate on the mound the way that he does. And I will be fully transparent and say that I do take it for granted, but it is quite special. And whenever he does that, I'm just like, wow, because it is not easy to do. And if any other pitcher did it, we'd be like, that's amazing. I do at times fall short when it comes to heaping praise on Shohei Ohtani, but when he can get 3 hits and be on base like 5 times, I think at a minimum, it might've been more, and then go out there and do what he did on the mound tonight, remarkable. It's amazing. So we'll get into that, and then we'll talk about Kyle. 100 to go. Ohtani today, 3 for 4, walked twice, gets the average up over 300 at 301. The OPS now at 941. So just from his day at the plate.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
With honorable mention, of course, to Kyle Tucker, who got things started for the Dodgers, homering for the 5th time. His first home run since May 5th. So almost a month since Kyle Tucker has homered, but nice piece of hitting. You could see Doc loved it. Betts got on an error. Tucker took advantage. A 94 mile an hour, just piped middle fastball. Took advantage of that error and made it 2-0. He was 3 for his last 26 at that point. So 3 hits for him tonight. That's good to see. 16 of their last 20. It's all good. And we haven't even talked about Ohtani on the mound yet. What did he finish with? I took a note at 6 Ks. He finished with 6 Ks, primarily working the fastball, 4-seamer, sweeper, 4-seam curve, which was a beautiful curveball, big loopy, as Vin Scully used to call it, a soap bubble. Not quite. He called it a soap bubble because it'd come in at like 65 miles an hour. But that one was a little bit harder, but it had that beautiful arcing sort of, not quite 12-6, but let's say 1-5, 1-6, maybe even 1-7, something like that. Beautiful curveball there, but the sweeper was working well, and the 4-seamer was his money pitch today in the 6 Ks. He survived for 6 innings, only walked 1, surrendered 2 hits. He's absolutely on fire, both at the plate and on the mound. Whatever you do, if you happen to see Shohei somewhere in public, do not wake him up. Just keep walking. Don't say anything. Take pictures. Yes. Oogle and ogle, but don't say anything because he's just on fire right now. We don't want that to change. The Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. 7-0 the win today. After the break, we'll get into some more of the numbers about what the Dodgers are doing because, baseball's all about numbers. We love the numbers. Very cool, but there's been some fantastic matches there. And I have peeked in on some of the Stanley Cup action. That's been fantastic as well. And I'm sure I'll catch an NBA Finals game here or there. It just, it seems like every time I'm watching a Dodger game, they're playing basketball on the other channel. So I have my priorities. But as far as the way things are going for the Dodgers, all is well. Shohei Ohtani, again, just 2 hits, 6 Ks, lowered his ERA. More stats for you. Get ready. History, man. Here you go. Lowered his ERA to 0.74. Third best all time through 10 games. Jacob deGrom did it about, 5 or 10 years ago. And some old dude did it like in the 50s or whatever. But Shohei Ohtani with that 0.74 ERA, third best through 10 games all time. That is fantastic. And then when you just look at the starters for the Dodgers as a whole over the last 10 games, their ERA is 1.66. No more than 2 runs in all 10.
Everything tomorrow.
Yeah, and by doing everything that is pitch, as you noted, he's the Dodgers' Wednesday starter. If there's a Wednesday game, Shohei Ohtani is pitching. You and I disagree on the degree to which we think the Dodgers and Shohei should invest bandwidth and energy and time and risk in him chasing a Cy Young Award. I think it's paramount and amazing. You want Shohei to give up 11 earned runs so that the farce can end. That's kind of true, though.
It's not.
You said it once.
So I will look. Let me stand behind this.
Okay.
I would love to see Shohei Ohtani win a Cy Young,
but
if it doesn't get in the way of the Dodgers' ultimate goals. What I did say a couple weeks ago, I'm not sure it was a practice show or a real show. They're all a blur at this point. Okay, a real show. It was later in the show, too. I'm a little wacky, right? The third hour's different than the first hour. I've learned that the last couple of weeks, okay? So to give you some grace there. But what I did say was that it might not be the worst thing, and I know no one wants to hear this. I know this is a very unpopular opinion, and that is that if Shohei did have a couple starts where you gave up a couple runs, maybe even 10, maybe even 15,
I have a notebook.
Maybe even more runs that would maybe impact his ERA to the point where
it's the old journals to me.
Christopher Sanchez, he's going tonight against Walker Buehler in San Diego, sporting that 44 2/3 innings scoreless inning streak, and guys like Jacob Mizorowski and Paul Skeens, that if you did throttle down just to a degree, not a lot, but if you just throttled down, and maybe it didn't look like Shohei is going to make every single start this year like he wants to do. That's the conversation you had with the organization. If you did throttle it down a little bit, you see what the bat does. When Shohei hits like he has lately, the Dodgers have won 15 of their last 19 games. They've grown a nice lead in the National League West, and this is my fear, is we...
Right. As a different way to kind of chop this up here on 97.1 The Fan, on D-Mac and Ryder, Doug McCain, Bill Ryder, thanks for hanging with us, Los Angeles. There's this great story that I like that I'm telling you about it since you sent it to me, but there's this great story from MLB.com by Manny Randhawa that's really good. And it doesn't make the argument what should happen or shouldn't. It just goes through his belief of what needs to happen for Ohtani to win a Cy Young Award. So I'm gonna recap this, and you give me your take here on how likely you think these things are. He's got 3 points. His first point is that Ohtani, whose earned run average right now is 0.82, has to have an earned run average below 2. And he points out the lowest ERA for a qualified starter in the history of baseball since the mound was lowered. In 1969 is Dwight and Gooden's incredible 1.53 earned run average over 35 starts for the Mets in 1985. Obviously, Ohtani is very, very much below that, but he also points out that Ohtani's expected ERA over the 55 innings he's pitched so far, D-Mac, based on sort of quality opponent contact and all those stats, is 2.38. Really, really good, but not 0.82, and that there might be aggression to the mean. Then he makes 2 interesting points. He points out that Ohtani has had some control issues, even in the no-hitter through 6 where he got pulled, and that doesn't bode well. But then he also said on the flip side, what if he locks in pitching-wise the way he has hitting-wise? And so 2.00 earned run average or below that, it's not impossible, right?
It's not impossible. You're absolutely right. And I love that you bring up the expected ERA, advanced stats, my love language, so I appreciate that. And what that really says right there is that at some point, he's going to run into a game where you're going to give up some runs. In his last couple of starts, both starts which he hit and pitched at a high level, hit home runs, right? He's going to be in the lineup tonight while he pitches, at least right now. That's what Dave Roberts says is the plan. He's had some shorter starts. He's had some inefficient starts. His last start, where it looked like you were struggling with command, he had a 56% strike rate. He had a season-high 4 walks, and he said after the game he just couldn't find it. So at some point, he's going to have a clunker. Will he be at that Bob Gibson or the Dwight Gooden where you're there and the ones were just insane? And those guys are doing it.
Doesn't it give you goosebumps, though?
It really does. Because those guys do it 300 innings, right?
Right.
You could hit those dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not in but the hitters have advanced, right? And he also hits every single day at a high level. I think that he probably, when the season's over, could be at the 220 range, which still could get like a 2.2 ERA, 2.20, something in that range. Under 2, though.
The advantage of not pitching every 6 days, maybe. I'm going to lean into the optimism. I love that you talk Ohtani with your head, and you have your heart in it, and I talk Ohtani with my heart and don't use my brain at all. With my heart and don't use my brain at all. Second thing that Manny Randhawa from MLB.com in an excellent article making an argument for what has to happen if Ohtani can win the Cy Young, it is a K rate, a strikeout rate above 30%. And he makes a really interesting point that because of volume of innings pitched, which we'll get to, this is the third one, he's not gonna have as many strikeouts as the guys he's competing against. But he says that if he can have a rate of striking guys out that is above 30%, that it might, from a sabermetrician perspective, win over some voters. He points out that Ohtani's career strikeout rate as a pitcher is 31.1%. He's only at 28.6% so far this season. Sanchez and Skeens are currently at a strikeout rate of 29.4%, so ahead of Ohtani, but below Ohtani's career strikeout rate. And so if he can get back up to over 30%, he thinks it's very possible. And then going deep sort of into the weeds here, he writes that Ohtani's two primary weapons this season have been among the best pitches in baseball, that his four-seam fastball is tied with Kevin Gausman's for the fourth best pitch in baseball at a run value of plus 10, and that his sweeper, Ohtani sweeper, has been the best sweeper in the majors at a plus 9 run value and has generated a 39% whiff rate. Fancy, your love language, DMAC's love language here on DMAC and Ryder 97.1 The Fan. Fancy way of saying he thinks Ohtani can get that strikeout rate higher, much higher.
And that does bode well. Like, the fact that we've been talking about this tells you how good of a pitching year that Shohei Ohtani's having.
It's true.
But he picked a pretty bad year, Bill, to want to win a Cy Young, right? He picked the wrong year. Christopher Sanchez, 3.3 F4 already, a 1.47 ERA. Jacob Mizorowski throwing 100 billion 5 miles per hour. Feels like every single pitch, a 1.65 ERA. You got Paul Skeens, I still think hasn't gotten close to pitching his best baseball. If I had to pick right now, I think Paul Skeens would somehow emerge because of how good a pitcher he is.
You like him as the favorite?
I kind of do. I think Christopher Sanchez is having such a special year.
Did Skeens have a bad outing? Like, he got shelled in his first outing, right? Or something, or second outing?
Yeah, he had a couple clunkers early on. I think his first start wasn't a good start. I want to say it was the Mets, top of my head, but
sounds right.
Yeah, but top of my head, but
sounds right.
Yeah, but if this was, I really, you got me excited yesterday. Like I said, I don't know about you. I like your wife Lori. I re-listened to every podcast. I see what you did. And you got me excited when you were mad about the Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio thing.
I am mad about it.
And
still.
You got me hyped, and I love that. You really got me lit with that. And for me, it's 2012. R.A. Dickey winning a Cy Young over Clayton Kershaw because he had a knuckleballer. He had a gimmick, and he wasn't that great. If this was Shohei that year, I'm like, okay, let's roll. Let's ride. Let's continue to go with this. And I get it. And you know what's funny? Because it's actually true. You're actually really spot on with things about me as far as me being protective of other people. I'm not protective of myself. Like, I'll skydive. I'll do crazy stuff.
I believe it.
But my wife was saying, oh, I can't wait till Kira has a lemonade stand. I was like, we're going to hire security to be by the lemonade
That's very
stand.
sweet.
Like, when she goes outside, she's got a helmet on just to go to the mailbox. Like, I am like that. But for Shohei...
You're a helicopter parent for Shohei.
I guess I am. I'm Shohei's helicopter parent. But I do want to present something to you, though. So we've never seen Shohei go wire to wire like this. Okay, yeah.
Second.
We're going to pick this up later.
No,
Let's
tell
pick
me.
this up.
Hit me.
We just have never seen this wire to wire on a good team. We've seen wire to wire on a bad team. This is wire to wire on a good team. We have to play and pitch for another month to get a third straight World Series title.
I know I have to rush here, but the third one is at least 170 innings, which I would argue with, but it's his article, not mine. Obviously, you need 162 innings to qualify, pitching every 6 days. He'll probably make somewhere around 27 starts by the end of the regular season. So he's basically on pace for 165. This writer thinks he has to get to 170. I'll just point out to people, 162 and he qualifies, and the voters can vote for him.
Yeah. If they have a reason to vote for him with that ERA, I think you're right. That's his best chance. And maybe a special moment, like another no-hitter where he throws 150 pitches if you're the manager.
Yeah, or how about 113?
There you go.
Oh my gosh, you're dropping it in there.
ここまで見てくれたあなた、本当にありがとう。この動画が少しでも面白かったら、コメントで意見を聞かせてください。そして高評価、シェア、チャンネル登録も忘れずに、次の動画でまた一緒に野球の熱狂を味わいましょう。